For nearly 80 years, the Metropolitan District Commission, known as the MDC, has been providing area residents with clear, clean drinking water and dependable wastewater treatment and other services. The MDC, with its 30,000 acres of land, trails, and reservoirs, also maintains some of the most popular recreation sites in Connecticut. The following informational and educational program is a presentation of the MDC to provide you with more information about the programs and services that we offer. The MDC is committed to protecting our environment and to enhancing the quality of life in this region.
Hello again and welcome to Newsline. I'm Eric Clemens. Thanks so much for being with us today. As you know, the Clean Water Project is well underway with a multitude of projects in various stages of design and construction taking place in Hartford and some surrounding member towns. Now in today's program, we'll have an update on this Clean Water Project activity, and in the second half of our program, we'll introduce a maintenance and protection of traffic plan that was developed to proactively manage traffic disruptions that may be taking place in your area resulting from all this construction activity. But first, it all began back in 2006 when voters overwhelmingly approved moving forward with the Clean Water Project. Ever since then, the folks at the MDC have been planning and designing the construction phase of the project. And to tell us more about that, joining us on the program, bringing us up to date, our friend Mike Mancini, who is the Manager of Design and Mike, thanks so much for being with us today.
Eric, it's a pleasure being back with you.
All right. First things first here. After the 2006 referendum, voters in the 8 MDC member towns approved the Clean Water Project. Quick review, the first steps that you had to take to tackle this massive, massive project, the Clean Water Project.
Yeah, Eric, it is a massive project. We're into year 4 of a 15-year project. And as you can imagine, there was a lot of preparatory work that was needed. One of the first things that we had to identify was the severity of the problems that we had. So we had to set up a special staff that dealt only with the Clean Water Project because, again, we also have another engineering department that takes care of the day-to-day activities that the MDC has responsibilities for. So we established a staff that was dedicated towards the Clean Water Project. We hired a number of engineering consulting firms because those are the people that are actually going out and gathering the data that we need to know about what is wrong with the system. And once we know what is wrong with the system, then we can begin the process of designing the fixes and the rehabilitations and comply with the consent order that we have from the Department of Environmental Protection of the state of Connecticut and the consent decree from the Environmental Protection Agency on the federal level. So it was quite a bit of work that we had started on that. We are moving right along. We have a number of projects that are in construction. We have a whole stable full of projects that are in design that will be coming forward soon.
All right, you talked about it. You're in the construction phase. Can you talk a little bit about how many projects are in construction and how many are planned between now and the year 2011, again, year 4 of this 15-year project?
Right. Right now we have either in active construction or have completed approximately 20 projects.
Wow.
Those are all in different locations throughout our service area on that. Most of them are active right now. We have quite a few in the Upper Albany Avenue area. We have several in the member towns, and we also have several at our water pollution control facility in the South Meadows area of Hartford.
And you talked about that. Many of the projects are centralized in the Hartford area. Let's remind viewers kind of why that is, why so many in the Hartford area first.
Well, first of all, we had more information on what the problem is with the system in Hartford. We also have that Hartford has one pipe, which the other towns have 2 pipes doing the same process. So that's one of the major focuses of our program, is to establish a second pipe in Hartford so that the wastewater is dedicated to the wastewater system and the stormwater, the rainfall, goes to the stormwater system, which really are 2 separate ones. In Hartford, unfortunately, when Hartford was developing this system, it was actually cutting-edge technology back in the 1800s. We have many pipes that were built prior to the Civil War that are active now. We've just found that, unfortunately, they're just not conveying enough because the pipes were not sized for the demand that's on them today. So Hartford is getting quite a bit of focus of our efforts on it. Majority of the projects that we have will be in the Hartford area, but simply because the treatment plants where all of this wastewater goes to, the largest one that we have in our system is located in the South Meadows area, which really services about 5 towns of the 8 that we service.
All right, you know, your consumers, the people, the residents that use water, and we take our water and sewage for granted every day. Can you tell us a little bit about how these projects will improve and what kind of things that we used to take for granted might be real problems for us if not for this Clean Water Project?
Well, if I can just take you back a little bit, Eric, you know, back when we, in Hartford, when the pipes were established, the major reason for the pipes was to take care of the rainfall that occurred. The streets weren't paved, there was mud, and also what the horses left behind, because
Sure.
that was the mode of transportation back then. And at that time, it was get rid of it off the streets and put it somewhere where it's not going to bother anybody. So it was basically that old cliche, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
It was prior to bathrooms, and as time has evolved, our standard of living has increased. We've gotten more demanding as far as disposing of the waste that we produce. That's when the treatment plants came into being, but in order to have the treatment plants process that, we needed a system of pipes to get what came out of your house to them. So that really is where we were at, but unfortunately, you know, we just have not kept up. As with most developed cities throughout the United States, they also have the same problems of one pipe servicing 2 needs. And so, you know, that's where most of our work is focused right at the moment. And that's where, like I say, a lot of the projects that we have in design right now will be focusing in the next year and a half will be in the Hartford area.
All right. Now, how are you keeping residents informed of the work going on and planned in their neighborhoods? I know you've got a lot of initiatives planned to keep people up to date on possible problems or things that may be occurring in the area with all this massive construction going on. What kind of things you got going there?
Eric, one of the things that we know is that if we do not partner with the neighborhoods, with the people in the neighborhoods, we're not going to be successful. So we've taken great pains to go into the neighborhoods on every one of our projects, and we really go in prior to construction 3 times. When at about our 30% design completion, we will go into the neighborhood, we put mailers on every door announcing when that is and where it's going to be, inviting them in. We have a second meeting when it's about 65 to 70% completion. At that time, we try to respond to what we were told in the first meeting, as what the problems are. Sometimes we can solve the problem, sometimes we can't, but we try to respond to every question that is posed to us on that. The third meeting occurs just before construction, where we have the contractor there. We kind of give some schedules so that people understand exactly what is happening, when it's going to happen. We also have community outreach groups that are like our liaison, that allow people that may not be able to contact us directly. These are usually local neighborhood people that people are familiar with, that can ask questions. Maybe sometimes when you look at the construction and the heavy equipment, you may not have the right question to ask, but if you go to the liaison people, they will help with those. They get those questions to us, we respond back to them. We also have, as you mentioned in the second half, the traffic management. That's another item that we are trying to go into the neighborhood and let people know what's happening on that. And then the other one that we do is we make presentations to any group that asks us for an update as to where we are, what's going on in their neighborhood. We're very happy to do that. We've done hundreds of those, and we will continue to respond to anyone that wants us to come into the neighborhood and give them an update. So
nobody can have the complaint that all this stuff is going on without their knowledge, or they don't know what's happening. You got plenty of outlets for people to find out.
You know, Eric, we try to do our best, but we constantly are being told that we haven't done enough.
Need more.
Yes.
All right.